Second row is Zane Smith. He is a very fast driver. Ryan Repko ran his first ARCA race last year, top 10 for Mason Mitchell. He'll start forward.
Some big-time talent in this field, and a lot of young guns, including Brett Holmes and Chase Purdy, part of the MDM stables. A lot of people expect good things out of the rookie Chase Purdy this year.
The oldest driver in the top 4 rows, Gus Dean. He's the first driver not age 20 or younger that we see on a grid in the 32 Green Chevrolet.
You can tell he's got the facial hair, but Gus Dean's always strong. Michael Self going for 3 straight ARCA wins for Venturini Motorsports. And then there's the lady, Natalie Decker, starting 12th here tonight.
She won the pole and finished 5th at Daytona. A lot of expectation for her full season in ARCA.
Some big-time surprises a little bit later on in the field. Riley Herbst and Harrison Burton having to take provisionals. But the big question is, a 200-lap race, a lot of strategy involved. How far can you start and still win here tonight?
You know, it's going to be a very good question we'll answer shortly, because a couple of drivers are deep in the field. We're not able to qualify. But as you see this stout field, it's one of the strongest fields that ARCA has brought to a short track in quite some time. And it's great to see the mix of young drivers in these teams. But, man, we got like Will Kill starting in the back. He's got a shot. There's young drivers, Harrison Burton and Riley Herbst, starting well back below 20.
And I think if we talk a little bit about the strategy, and we've been talking about that throughout yesterday and today, if we look at the last 2 years, there's some interesting strategy that have propelled guys to victory lane.
You know, this is a very solid point to make, Bob. 3 different pit stops for our race winner a year ago. Different strategy for Chad Finley. Chassis adjustment only the first time down. 2 tires, and he took 4 tires with 46 laps left in the race and beat them all.
The 23 of Brett Holmes, watching him in practice, this car has been cutting very good in the center of the corner. And a coaching change this week for Brett Holmes. Buddy Cisco on top of the box here. Buddy Cisco from Brett Keselowski Racing this last year.
And GMS Racing is where he works now. And this GMS Racing umbrella, you will, has encompassed the 23 that Grant Enfinger won the championship with as a GMS Racing driver. That number stays on the door. That machine is after shop at Mooresville. So that 5-truck team at GMS Racing is what is helping this team propel.
Part of this racetrack. There is a big bump that has formed in there, and we can see as they go into turn number 2 here, there's a bump there, and the car kind of bottoms out. And depending on how you tackle that bump with the car, it can really offset things for you.
And for Dipple in that 22 car, teammate to the 77 of Joe Groff, they're vastly different in their experience. Dipple comes from a big block dirt car modified. Joe has been more of the pavement, short track, pro late model, super late model kind of driver. So difference in their setups for the team cars, the 22 and now the 77 of Groff.
And here's what's really interesting for Joe Graff Jr. He comes in here, unfortunately, with a broken foot. We saw him with basically a crutch of sorts with wheels, and he had his foot off the ground. I said, what happened? He says, you know what? I was playing ball with my 12-year-old brother. I didn't want him to beat me, and there was a little mishap when he was trying to dunk the ball on his 12-year-old brother, and he broke the foot. So he's driving with a broken foot here tonight.
You know, and his dad was nice enough to tell us. My wife reminded me, my son's played football and lacrosse in high school, and he's been racing for so many years, but he gets injured playing basketball. He got injured on the other ankle, and he's playing middle school basketball.
Brandon Grasso in the 52. That's the championship-winning car from 1 year ago for Austin Terrio. Donnie Richardson leading that team. He's actually spotting for Brandon here. But the interesting thing is, this is the Ken Schrader racing team, and they came here testing 1 week ago. And Ken Schrader took Brandon around the racetrack to show him the intricacies of Nashville. Now, it's been a while since Ken Schrader has raced here. The ARCA Racing Series only returned a couple of years ago to this legendary racetrack. But at the same time, Brandon Grasso in that 52, he told him, watch out for that bump in turn number 2. And guess what happened to him in the test?
Lap 1, turn 2, whoop,
yep,
around.
Spun it around. Here comes Natalie Decker for Venturini Motorsports, the N29, number 25, to the inside of that 77 car of Joe Graff Jr.
You know, much to do about Natalie, the headline she created for the ARCA Racing Series at Daytona, the first points race during speed weeks, winning the pole, knocking the fender off, and coming back to a 5th place finish. She's now in the red number 25 N29 Capital Partners Toyota. This would be the test, she said. This is a hard track to figure out, so we'll see how she can progress for the entire season here on the first short track of the run.
Still got a long way to go for Natalie Decker and so many others to climb back through the field. We are approaching 50 laps here at the legendary Fairground Speedway in Nashville for the ARCA Racing Series presented down on the 27 car. Let's look at exactly what happened right in front of the leader, Chandler Smith.
77 of Groff there, but that's the race leader, the 20 of Chandler Smith. They're on the gas pedal. It's matted to the floor off of turn number 4. Right to the inside. Everybody got through this. One more look. That's how close it was for the leaders, Smith and Smith, to get through there.
Wow, that was a close call right there for both, like you said, Chandler Smith and Zane Smith, two teenagers, with Travis Braden spinning that 27 car with that left rear cut tire. So Travis Braden, not exactly the start that he wanted, was running really good at Daytona and got caught up in a late race mishap. So two difficult races to start the season for the former ARCA Series Super Series champion.
Yeah, two-time champion there. He's also won the Winchester 400, finished second in that race. He knows about the duration and the grind, especially when it comes to older racetrack surface.
Comes down pit road, and it looks like it'll be a two-tire stop for Zane Smith.
Number 41 of Zane Smith is on the bottom. Now we see the race leader leaving his pit stall already. Pit road starts at the apex of 3 and 4 and comes all the way down the front straightaway. Good job by those guys to get him in cleanly, and Zane beats him out.
Beat him out. Definitely a good pit stop by that MDM team, the Venturini Motorsports team of Chandler Smith. I believe it was also a two-tire stop for Chandler Smith. So the Smiths still leading the field, but they swap roles after this cautioning coming down pit road.
Joe Groff in his first live pit stop under caution in the ARCA Racing Series. They're trying to get that car refired. Again, that young man on the New ARCA 6-race schedule for Chad Bryant Racing for him, and again, getting that car refired. It's a whole different ball game in the element. You run 50 laps at maximum speed. You're in that rhythm. Now you've got to come down to pit road at 30 miles an hour, hit your box, make sure that car's in gear, and you got it revved up just right to leave pit road.
And Joe's also doing some late model racing as well. But folks, under caution here at Nashville, this racetrack, look at the gritty surface. It eats up tires. We saw the first pit stop sequence by basically all of these guys. It came 54 laps into the Music City 200 here at Nashville. Right now, Zane Smith leading Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed here in Nashville.
56 laps ago.
So Zane Smith leads with that 55 car for Michael Self in that second spot. By the way, a bunch of St. Clair people here. Michael Self was actually up here in the tower a little while ago before the race, and he was visiting with his sponsor people here at Nashville. Caution on the racetrack. Thomas Prater winds up spinning off of turn number 4, and he might have collected the wall. Thomas Prater, one of those independent competitors out of Mobile, Alabama, running 18th.
Yeah, he was a handful of laps down, Bob, and that team has a steel-bodied race car, but it also has one of the ARCA Ilmor 396 engines in it, so it's a different kind of a combination. Let's take one more look at Prater in the number 9. Off of turn 4, the smoke's already going because that's tire smoke. He locked it down coming off the corner. Top break for Thomas Prater out of Mobile, Alabama. Top 10 in the points, the first and only 6 years he's raced full time coming into the season. Great run for that family team out of Mobile.
And you see a little bit of damage there to the left rear quarter panel and the rear bumper cover on the number 9 machine.
How to get around Nashville Fairgrounds.
Battles all over the racetrack. We go on board with Christian Eckes with the JBL camera. And Christian Eckes, remember, pitted just a little while ago. He's currently running in 12th.
Giving you a good look here at how tight things are, how tight quarters are, how difficult it may be pass with these older tires down on this racetrack.
Zane Smith first. Burton is now in second. Sheldon Creed and Chandler Smith continue to battle for that second spot. This is a kid, though, Christian Eckes, that we think is going to win some races this year. He finished second in Elko, Minnesota last year. Great contact right there between the 55. Wow, Michael Self and Chandler Smith getting into it just a little bit, coming down the front stretch.
You know, I said tight quarters, and it doesn't matter if they're teammates or not. They want to get in position. Every pass counts now. These old tires get worn out. They know what they have. They've got to take every advantage to get a spot in the 55. Well, Self did just that on the 20 of his teammate, Chandler Smith.
How about this? Natalie Decker and that N29, number 25 for Venturini Motorsports. Remember, took the free pass a little while ago. She is up to 6th on board with Riley Herbst and the ARCA Coolers onboard camera. This kid has had a tough time here today at this racetrack.
Yeah, Riley was just trying to get out of the way, and Booty Barker, his crew chief, said, stay with us, we know you got to be patient, and when they have the opportunity to come down pit road, they fix that car. It's turning a ton better for the 18 team out of the Coy Gibbs Racing camp.
Yeah, the problem is he's running 14th, 3 laps down at this point. There is Gustine. Remember, Mike Wallace told you about the battery issue on that green number 32 a little while ago. He's back out on the racetrack, but unfortunately for Gustine, he's running 17th, 5 laps down.
Herbst Herbst now inside of the 20 of Chandler Smith. That's not for position. Smith now high on the racetrack in the 20.
Chandler Smith continues to fall back a little bit. Smith running in 5th on the racetrack. The cars that he was battling with, though, as we mentioned, laps down both the 18 and the 32, Riley Herbst and Gus D.
Look at this green car on the bottom. They are trying to do everything they can to get as many spots. Every point counts. It's 5 points per position here, and the championship was even a tie one year for the championship title.
Sorting things out. We're getting down closer to the last 50 here in Nashville. Yellow flag flies once again here at the Music City 200 in Nashville, Tennessee, the 4th caution of the night. And this one, Riley Herbst actually spinning on the backstretch to bring out the caution once again. Zane Smith still leading, Harrison Burton in 2nd. Zane Smith has been the dominator here since getting the lead on a pit stop sequence. His team got him out after making that pit stop. We'll see what shakes down on this caution period because the pits could be busy.
And we saw a couple of guys losing the handle, literally, including our pole sitter, Chandler Smith, was dropping back in the field, back to 6th here. So this caution comes at a perfect time for that 15-year-old to come to pit road and the attention of the car number 20 and that team led by Billy Venturini, the team general manager.
So Zane Smith coming down pit road. Remember, he took 2 tires on his first stop. This guy has been the hard charger. And I really think that even though Zane Smith has been so dominant, Harrison Burton might have the best car in the field. He's been consistent. He's been patient. Exactly what we've seen out of this driver, especially since he started really his winning ways in 2017. He won Speed Fest last year down in Cordele, Georgia, and that really just set things off. He won on just about everybody. There they go. They duck down pit road. Zane Smith has one of those early pit stops, but the 12, both MDM teams are there as well. Let's go down to Mike Wallace.
We're here at Harrison Burton's pit. They're in there on 4 tires is the strategy here. They were thrilled to death to see the caution. You see them around the right side. Cars coming down. They're working themselves to the left side. The rear tire changers are there. The 41, the leader's 2 cars in front of them right now. The 2 MDM cars, or all the MDM cars here. Left sides are on. A little slow on the left front right now. Got a little behind. 41 got out. They got a problem. Now they're away.
That's a slow stop, as Mike noted, for the Dex Imaging team for Harrison Burton. Zane Smith having another good stop, and he will lead the brigade off of pit road, I believe, as I look out my window. Yes, indeed. There it is, the 28 of Sheldon Creed, Michael Self in the 55, and 4th off of pit road, the number 12 of Harrison Burton.
3 cars did stay out on the racetrack, but Burton, with the number of cars on lead lap and how slow that stop went, he's got a lot of ground to make up. He got up to 2nd with a long run speed. And he's got to weave that car back into position here, and that car number 12, we'll see on the scoring refresh here at the start-finish line what exactly position he'll be in. But the top 3 cars on our restart will have older tires in front of these cars, chomping at the bit with 4 fresh general tires.
Track position is very critical. But right now, the 77 of Joe Graff Jr., he's being scored the leader. But these guys behind him, with 3 guys staying out, they're going to gobble them up in a hurry.
You'll see what new tires mean here at the racetrack for real. All 4 fresh now.
Yeah, there's Zane Smith, another good pit stop by that MDM team. And Zane hoping for his first ARCA Racing Series win here tonight, as we mentioned. He's finished 2nd several times here in the ARCA Racing Series. Never has gotten to that victory lane point, and he's really hungry to do that here and prove himself, because he's eyeing that climb, and that's what the ARCA Racing Series is. It's part of the ladder system to the uppermost levels of racing.
One of the drivers are in the NASCAR Next program, and he certainly has the experience here. Ran the All-American 400 back in 2015, that great season he had. He also raced here last year, started 7th and finished 10th in his ARCA Racing Series short track debut on this racetrack. So I think it's going to be down to Smith and how cleanly he can get the restart to help him along. His spotter is Landon Huffman tonight, another short tracker that would love to get a chance to get back in one of these ARCA cars again.
And his crew chief, Marty Lindley. You talk about a guy, a former driver, a multi-time winner in the Pro Cup Series, and just a guy that knows the ins and outs of racing. And that's what MDM has basically assembled. Some very smart people to lead their team.
Yeah, Mark McFarland and the team. Travis Miller's the general manager. Travis's dad, Matt's involved with the day-to-day, paying the bills. Travis is involved in placing these teams. Up until 2018, they had 45 different starts in the ARCA Racing Series, 12 different drivers. There's a lot of starts and a lot of things going on at MDM this year.
We've had a few different cautions here. Will we go green the rest of the way? The big question right now.
We believe.
Restart now here at Fairgrounds Speedway Nashville for the Music City 200. Joe Graf Jr. in the 77. Your leader did not come down pit road. We believe he's going to be a sitting duck on the racetrack with older rubber compared to everyone else.
Well, Zane Smith has to find that lane, and those two tires in the 22 seem to be working now. Those teammates on the outside are 4 wide into turn number 3. Are you kidding me?
Oh, is that going to work right there? 3 wide. Michael Self on the inside has the preferred line. Self in the 55 up to third. But man, it is a mad dash scramble right now. Side by side for first and second and third and fourth.
Self was in the lead position to win the last 2 ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards Races. He was on the inside on a restart at Kansas in the season finale last year. The C's parted with a big crash. He won the race at Daytona because he stayed on the bottom. Look at that move he did. That green and white Sinclair car is coming on the inside.
We'll see if everybody stays patient right here because remember, Self, Smith, Sheldon Creed, they have fresher rubber. Joe Graf Jr., older rubber. Here comes Michael Self, the Daytona winner on the inside of the 77. A battle for the lead with 50 to go. Self has got it glued to that yellow line on the bottom side of the racetrack, but I am very impressed with Joe Graf Jr. I've watched him in late models. This right here on older rubber, the best I've ever seen him race.
With a throbbing left foot, broken metatarsal on top of that left foot in this driver's seat, the number 77. Charging on here for what could be a career run in his first start in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards.
We know how good Zane Smith is. He moves into the second spot by the 77 of Graf. Now here comes Sheldon Creed, the former off-road racer, converted to the pavement scene, trying to climb the ranks here in racing on pavement as Sheldon Creed moves up to third.
Creed led the most laps at Daytona, 35 all told, so he's really ready for the season. When they came and tested just last week, the MDM team came in force, 3 cars strong, Sheldon among the fastest in the longer runs. This now will be a sprint to settle in when those tires wear, when those tires plateau. Creed wants to be in the position to challenge for this win.
Here's the battle between the team cars. For Chad Bryant, the 22 of Dipple on the inside, that last pit stop sequence, you got 2 tires. Battle for the lead as well in the upper left-hand portion of the screen. Good battles all over the racetrack, and it looks like Harrison Burton in the number 12 is trapped just a little bit after that slow pit stop.
Don't keep your eyes anywhere but on this battle because we got 2 great battles, including the 12 of Burton, our pole sitter, Chandler Smith, that black and blue 20. He's also looking for a spot to charge. I'd say that kid's not done yet. On the outside now, the 22 of the 2 tires fresh under the 22 for the number 22 machine is Dipple. Dipple on the inside. 12 is Burton. 20 is Chandler Smith here at Nashville.
And Chandler Smith trying to climb back up. He had slipped back just a little bit, but a great run for the 15-year-old. Here's the battle for the lead. And I posed this to Michael Self earlier today. What if you were able to win the first 2 races of the year? Would you continue on? He's only supposed to run a part-time schedule. He said, oh man, I don't even want to allow myself to think about it, but he might not have to. Here comes Zane Smith on the outside. Zane Smith, very strong in a place that you don't normally see passing here around the Fairgrounds Speedway Nashville racetrack. In the lead for the 41, once again, for the California kid. Oh, Sheldon Creed right there as well, Jim. Here comes Creed in the 28. The door was opened by Zane Smith. The 28 out of MDM Motorsports in second. Self back to third.
Just that quick, Bob. A lap and a half from first to third. It's 1 missed corner, 2 charged too heavy into the corner here on this aged surface at Nashville. Last time paved in 1995. I walked in this place, walked across the track. I thought it was 1965 the last time they repaved it. This track is certainly proving the test for a lot of teams.
Well, we're not knocking this racetrack because the drivers love it, and the fans that are in the grandstands, they love the experience of seeing some great racing. And sometimes when you have older pavement, it really wears out those tires. They lose grip, and because of that, you see great racing.
And we see a great battle. We've never come to Nashville and leave disappointed. I love this racetrack. I've been coming here for decades. Back in the 80s in the All-American 400, watching 60, 70 super late models. We caught a glimpse today with Bubba Pollard and a bunch of all-star super late model drivers and a 100 lapper here. Great event weekend.
Zane Smith continues to lead. The caution comes out here with 40 laps to go. For more on that 41, let's go to Mike Wallace.
Ran the Truck Series, ran the K&N East and West.
Here's what's
Getting
interesting.
everywhere.
I was talking to him earlier today, and honestly, I said, hey, what have you been doing the last couple of weeks? He said, nothing much. And his team said, what do you mean nothing much? He went out to Glamis and the sand dunes. You know, he went snowboarding last week. So a busy guy is Sheldon Creed, and so is Michael Self. Michael is a decorated race car driver. He's won a ton of races in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West. He comes over here to ARCA. You know, he's won on a couple of different occasions as well. So Michael Self still has a shot here tonight. Do you agree, Mike Wallace?
Michael Self is in this race.
Took the lead. He's now going to start inside the second row in that Sinclair Lubricants number 55. So we'll see how this restart plays out with Zane Smith now deciding. Again, I'd say it's driven by who's in row 2 for where Smith will start this restart, on the inside or outside as our leader.
The ARCA Coolers onboard camera for Riley Herbst. Man, it has not been his day. Currently running in 15th, 3 laps down for last year's Rookie of the Year winner.
I believe it's going to come down to Harrison Burton and his restart as well. He's just ahead of the 18. We can see through the windshield that red and white Dex imaging machine as we see the 18 come to pit road. I think Harrison Burton, up to 4th, has a shot at this one before we're too long as well.
Things settling in here in Nashville. So as Riley Herbst circles the racetrack, let's go down pit side to Mike Wallace one more time.
So guys, the drama is building. We're going to be inside 35 laps here before long. And the nice part now, the top 4 cars came in on the last stop, had 4 tires. So there's no cars with 2 tires, anything slowing up the front of the field. And they're going to fight for positions. It's going to be very, very intense when the green flag comes back out.
I'm looking forward to it, Jim. I think this is going to be awfully interesting because a lot of people may deem this as their final shot. They don't know if they're going to get another caution. So I think all these guys up in the front are going to be fighting tooth and nail.
One more swing at it for Christian Eckes on pit road. The JBL Audio number 15. They did an adjustment with the right rear and a wrench in the window. So if he has a chance, it's going to have to come here. He's going to have to go from the very, very tail of the field with just so few laps left.
13 cars on the lead lap. It's a good call, honestly, by Kevin Reed and that team to bring him down pit road. That car has not been handling the way Christian Eckes wants it. Make an adjustment. Go for it. That's what you got to do to try to win races.
And Eckes is going for the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge this year. He's got 13 opportunities behind the wheel of this Venturini Motorsports machine.
So here we go. Side by side, Zane Smith and Sheldon Creed, they fire. Watch the battle as we head into turn number 1. What a run. What a run by Sheldon Creed. He is going to blast by Zane Smith for that top spot. And side by side for 3rd, I saw in the lead lap. It's a good call, honestly, by Kevin Reed and that team to bring him down pit road. That car has not been handling the way Christian Eckes wants it. Make an adjustment. Go for it. That's what you got to do to try to win races.
And Eckes is going for the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge this year. He's got 13 opportunities behind the wheel of this Venturini Motorsports machine.
So here we go. Side by side, Zane Smith and Sheldon Creed, they fire. Watch the battle as we head into turn number 1. What a run. What a run by Sheldon Creed. He is going to blast by Zane Smith for that top spot. And side by side for 3rd, I saw Self and Harrison Burton beating and banging around this bull ring.
Still under contest with that battle for 3rd into turn 1. This lap looks like Self has a slight advantage.
Both of those guys, very talented race car drivers. Michael Self knows, he's a short track guy now, running the ARCA Racing Series, running, in the past, the Pro Series West. Harrison Burton is climbing the ladder. A top 5 for him in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series last year in Martinsville. Here comes Tyler Dipple. Remember, only 2 tires on that last stop, but he is hanging tough in the top 10.
Dimple spent a lot of time racing with Harrison Burton on the KNAV series last year. Dimple is looking for more opportunities here in the ARCA Racing Series with this Champion Racing team. Put on a great run tonight in the 22.
You know, I wonder, did they make an adjustment on that 12 of Harrison Burton because he was so much better before this last pit stop where he took on the 4 tires. It looks like the handling has gone away a little bit on Harrison Burton's machine.
Got to go to Chandler Smith, also up to 6th. He restarted 8th, so he's on a bit of a burst here lately going for our pole sitter.
Under 30 to go. Zane Smith looking to the inside of the 28 of Sheldon Creed. These are teammates, but I don't think they're going to play nice with the win on the line.
In a short course run in an off-road truck.
Yeah, I mean, these guys come from off-road racing. The driver control that you exude in the cockpit of an off-road truck or any other vehicle is unlike any other. And these two are showing it around a whole worn-out racetrack here in Nashville, Tennessee. You see a little bit of a slower car out front, the Joe Kraft Jr., and they're approaching that slower car right now. Zane Smith to the inside of the 28 of Creed.
Kraft restarted 7th with those 2 tires, and you can tell now the tires are gone away. Not for position here. Graff's about to go a lap down to these guys.
That was awfully interesting. Zane Smith making a bold move to get around that slower car of Graff. That didn't slow down his momentum too much. A good move by the 18-year-old.
Sheldon Creed, the ancient one at age 20. First full season ARCA Racing Series is this year, but last year he learned a ton. Super Speedways, he said, man, I love this race car. I love running the ARCA Racing Series. I'm learning a ton. He ran well at Pocono. They're getting testing opportunities throughout the year with MDM. Creed coming into his own here would be a huge win for this California.
Great shots by all of our Lucas Oil production team here, showing us the pictures around this racetrack. Harrison Burton, the biggest mover so far in this race.
And you know what? He's not done yet, I don't think. He's really got to run, not only back from way back in the 20s, but this late race run, coming up to 4th on the restart, 3rd on the restart. He's right here now, challenging. Well, trying to close that gap as Gusty spent more time on pit road just a moment ago in that 32, not racing for position just ahead of him.
Yeah, so Jeff Burton, the biggest mover. Thad Moffitt, he had gained a bunch of spots as well. Thad Moffitt, Richard Petty's grandson, in 12th.
On lead lap, that's a small victory for that young man who's in his first of 20 straight race weekends. Mostly late models. We'll see him back here just in a couple weeks, live on NAV at Salem.
So it looks like Zane Smith goes after Sheldon Creed, and then when he has to back it down, maybe cool off his tires just a little bit, and then go and gather himself up and go after it like he's doing it once again on his teammate.
Attack to the inside off of turn 4. That's where it started, and now he's going to finish it off. Runs up the racetrack and gets the lead back on Creed.
What a mover by Zane Smith to go back out front here in the Music City 200.
Joe, how was your first ARCA race?
Could have gone better.
Well, you came in 16th, which is not a great finish, but you led laps. I think you raced really hard. We had a problem with the gear, I guess. We just got to make sure we get through those smoother. So, 200 laps with a broken foot. How's the foot feel?
I'm going to have to cut the shoe off.
What?
I'm going to have to cut the shoe off.
You're going to cut the shoe off?
The shoe's pulsating.
Wow. Yeah, look, your shoe's pulsating. All right.